Hey everybody, this is Richard Neese with Happy Homes, and you're listening to the Real Estate Rundown with Richard Neese, where we always help good people get to a better place. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. This is our first segment. We're going to have three. We're going to have a special guest on here in a little bit. I've got my co-host Dominic Gill.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. The whole goal of the Real Estate Rundown is for us to add value. We want to give you some information that's going to help you buy, sell real estate. If you're a real estate junkie, professional, you want to learn something, that's our whole goal. We want you to get to a better place. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the secret to my success, I guess you'd say. We're going to be talking about, they branded me as Mr. Open House. So we're going to talk a little bit about the open house process, how it's beneficial for a seller, how I've made that kind of the cornerstone of my real estate business, and how it's really pushed us to the next level to help more people on a daily basis. So Dominic, the first thing you think of when you hear Richard Neese, what is it?
Hustle. That's what I think, honestly.
Well, we've got hustle, and then a lot of people, I started this business about 2 years ago, and a lot of people see my open houses. They see my signs out, and I know it seems like a rather small thing in the real estate business, but what we did to begin with was we said we may not have a ton of listings. I may be new to this business, but everybody in this city is going to be able to see my signs, my open house that's going on, and we're going to be consistent with that, because the goal is to get people to walk through your home. You want to make sure that they walk through and fall in love with it. Well, if it's never open, then how are they going to do that? So the cornerstone of what we did was holding open houses. Most of the time it was on a weekly basis. I actually even held 19 straight open houses at one time, and I think it was in March we did that. And we had good exposure, and I actually learned a lot from that. What I ended up learning was that it doesn't matter what day of the week you hold an open house, you're going to have pretty consistent traffic, whether that's 5 people, whether that's 15 people, somewhere in that ballpark. And I'll ask anybody that's got their house on the market, how many times does your house show a week? I mean, what do you think the consistent answer is, Dominic?
Depending on the price of the house, but some of my well-priced listings, the ones that I've had, generally probably 6 to 7 times a month.
Right.
Because of weeks, you have different variations
Absolutely.
of the week. So that's be about average on my.
And most of the time, obviously those folks have found that house. They're going to come take a look at it, but the seller has to coordinate. They have to have everything ready. Sometimes I'm sure you've had folks that actually missed open houses, or not open houses, they missed showings because the house wasn't prepped and ready to go. Is that pretty fair to say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there have been times where we'll be out showing a house, and they'll see a house drive by and they'll say, hey, let's take a look at that one. Don't price unseen on it all. So especially if you have a house that's being held open, they're already out and they're already about looking. They don't even have to worry about calling the listing agent, setting up an appointment. They could just walk right in. About the easiest amount of exposure you're going to get on a house.
Absolutely. So what I always like to do was I like to tell folks, we may not sell your house in this open house, but you're going to get added exposure because I'm going to advertise through social media. I'm going to advertise through the paper. I'm going to advertise every way possible. Plus, you're probably going to have about 30 signs out and about in Coleman. Everybody's going to know that something's going on at your place. And if your house is priced properly and the house is staged correctly, at that point you put yourself in a strong position to be able to sell that home. And I've actually had 2 that I've sold in my 2 years that actually sold at the open house. And there's also some other benefits for the folks that are working with me as far as listings go. So I hold almost all of my houses open at some point during the listing cycle. Usually I hold one a week, sometimes it's 2 to 3. But the people that walk through those open houses, they may not think that that's the one. But I've always got a handful or multiple houses that I've got available to show at that time, and even some that might be coming up in the near future that might fit these folks. So it's an opportunity for you, if you list with me, it's an opportunity for you to have more buyers see your home, even if you're not being held open. So it kind of works in a cycle, I guess you would say.
Absolutely. I can say from my own experience, I've been in real estate going on 4 years, and it used to be something that as agents we would talk about open houses as, oh, well, that's just something they do in the big city. That's in the big markets, the Birmingham, the Huntsvilles. And me and several people that also were in our office felt the same way about it. And honestly, Richard proved us all wrong. Open houses do work in Coleman. If someone's telling you differently, they're dead wrong. I was dead wrong. The people in my office was dead wrong. And we even talk about it now, about how it was a joke to hold an open house, and how really Richard made us all look pretty silly, because he was wouldn't say he was the pioneer, but he definitely was the driving force in pushing that agenda of having open houses. And it really changed the way
landscape. Yeah.
It changed the landscape of how open houses were done in Coleman, and the marketing and just everything about it. It's now open houses are here in Coleman. They're here to stay. Don't let people tell you differently, because I was wrong, and if they're telling you that, they're wrong as well. It really does work.
I think the biggest thing for the open houses in general is that it's one more thing, one more way to advertise your home. If I only gave you one option to advertise, you'd be pretty upset. But if I'm leaving out one option, you'd be upset as well. So having those open houses, as long as the home is in a suitable location for it, tends to drive a lot of traffic. And I think it's beneficial overall. And I actually have a success story where I had an open house on a house close to the lake, Smith Lake. We service Smith Lake. We service Coleman County. We're also in Hartselle and Arab. We can pretty much service all of Morgan County as well. Had an open house on Smith Lake, pretty far out there, and these folks were actually looking for that very home. They didn't know it was being held open. They were out of town, and they came in the open house. They liked the house, but it wasn't the exact fit. Well, I'd been working with some folks while they were prepping their home, and actually we're going to close on their house. It'll be yesterday when this is broadcasted. We're going to close on it on Friday. So I took them from the open house. I showed them another house that they loved. They ended up putting an offer in on it, locked that in. Those people that owned the other house found another one of my listings that they liked, and so we locked in another contract on that. So the benefit is that we just help good people get to a better place, and that's what we want to do daily. It doesn't matter if it sells that house in particular. We want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to see these houses, contact an agent. We want to make sure that everything flows smoothly, and we can help good people get to a better place.
So basically, it's not just marketing, it's also networking.
Absolutely.
So, you get that network going on in there as you start developing that relationship with the realtor, and then you start tapping into the network of other houses that they have on the market.
That's right.
And so that's something also I could say that Richard Neese team, they have a large network, and
Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing. If you're interested in finding out about our marketing systems and market advertising campaigns, we do it through social media as well as through open houses. We have traditional advertising as well. You can always contact us at 256-708-1511. You can find us on Facebook. Just look us up at Richard Neese, Happy Homes Real Estate. We'd love to help you. We're about to finish up. We're about to be up against a hard break. So I hope you guys check us out on the other side. We're going to have Shirley Waddlebaum with us talking about our insurance needs.